Good morning, good morning, good morning on this blessed Sunday morning. Oh, yes, it's a blessed Sunday morning. I said, let me get on here before I start my Sunday worship today with me and the pastor and his other members get on the phone and do virtual um, Bible study. Anyway, people that just done with the churches, with all that stuff going on in the church. So we study all together. This ain't no Jehovah Witness, nothing whatsoever. It's just something now that is the best thing to do than to sit up there and get caught up in all the craziness and the foolishness up in the church. But I am looking into walking into some church building sometime this year just to see what it feels like to walk inside and what how I get a feel and a reaction. But I don't know when, but okay, I'm looking to be sitting in the presence of God with other believers. That's what I'm looking forward to doing sometime this year. So you get a totally different feeling when you go inside the building and you're around the people that believe in the same, faith as you. You get a totally different feeling than sitting on the phone or doing a virtual, Zoom meeting when you're having a Bible discussion. That's all good when you having Bible discussion during the week and in the middle of the week, like Wednesdays, like most Bible studies in black churches and the black culture. We study our a Bible study on Wednesdays most of the time. Most of us that grew up in the black church. So if you could get that time in the middle of the week. But I remember when I first, gave my life back to the Lord, when I just was tired, you know, after going through a failed marriage and teenage marriage that I got involved with, and then trying to get out there and find myself again, and then dating certain characters and going through certain things in these relationships. You just like, I'm done. They looking for quickies and you looking for something that's going to be long term, you want something long term, but finally came to it. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? This is it for me. No more marriages to nobody once my husband is gone. Let me see. It is what it is. But anyway, good morning to you. Let's start off with the Lord's Prayer before I get into this conversation with R. Kelly. Man, let me tell y'all something. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, right? And some of you are gonna find it kind of creepy and spooky. And then there's some of you that's just gonna be right there with me, believers. Believers, touching and agreeing. Touching and agreeing. Okay? But let's go into our Father's prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. As it is in heaven, give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thou you are the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. 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 It's always good to talk to the Lord and give thanks for all He has done because He is marvelous. Marvelous. The Lord is marvelous. He's great. He is the great I am. Um, he's our beginning and our end of our lives, of our story. Whether you know it or not, we all are in the book of life. People, we all are written in the book of life. And whether you know it or not, we all right now being judged. We all right now are being put in the sight of God. Like I said, he's on the throne. His throne is where he uses his power. The throne is where God uses his power. It might seem like it's kind of creepy to you, but I took this picture here. hmm I took this picture here, this showing you R. Kelly here when he was having that interview with Gayle King, and that's the time he came out on the platform to talk or tell his side of the story of things. And this is just the beginning of what's being played out here in the world. This is the beginning of R. Kelly, what we see demise, falling from his grace, falling from his grace, right? And he said some interesting things during this interview, y'all. And that's why I had to take this part of this picture here because the video starts right from here. But I just wanted to go back down some things that R. Kelly was saying when he was sitting here with Gayle King and telling her about what they were saying about him, about his financial, you know, matters, what was going on, what he found out, and he's up there hollering for his life. We're going to go back down memory lane. Y'all just hold on. Okay, I'm back, y'all. I am back in effect, y'all. Sorry I got y'all out there waiting. I'm not having saying anything. I'm making breakfast. You know how it is. I told you I'm making breakfast. I'm having this conversation with you all, and I'm trying to get to the meat and potatoes of this conversation. But it's still early for me on Sunday morning. I had to get me some coffee. So back to what I'm saying. Good morning. Good morning to all of you in the chat. Or those of you who are watching, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. It would be greatly appreciated. I'm doing everything here to show you facts. Now, what I'm saying is that this photo of R. Kelly, I took it from when he had the interview from the Gayle King, and I'm going to put the video on. And we're going to go over some things in this video that R. Kelly, this ain't theatrics, y'all. This is not theater. This is real life. Real life played out in front of our eyes, okay, by the industry. By the industry, by Hollywood, all work together. It's all together. So when people put their life in front of the camera, lights, camera, actions type of thing, you become a star, a movie star, whatever like that. This thing right here, this life right here, this is who you are forever. Like saying, God, give you something, it could either be a blessing or it can be a curse. And some things, when we step out of boundaries with God, He's going to have to put us on timeout. Actually, that's what R. Kelly's on, timeout. You know, a lot of parents, you raising your kids and your kids are acting up and they being disobedient. Like me myself, I work with kids, so I know I work with them at a very young age, very very young age, because I really don't can't really deal with the teenagers and preteens and stuff. So I try to stay with the babies. And at that age is the best because that's when they're more able to soak up more and you're able to give them that foundation when they're small. You can give them that really good foundation of structure and discipline and everything you could pour into a, a minor. Or you can pour into some other things that is just not going to do very well with them through life. And then there's going to be some that's just going to get an equal amount. You know, just an equal amount. And as far as I see things here for Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, God has given him grace already. But the world will never let it live down that R. Kelly was blase, blase, because this is what the devil does. This is what the industry does. This is how they going to always see him as, regardless to all the other wonderful, beautiful things he's done in life, all the great things he's done for people who have helped people out in their advancing in their careers, helped write songs for people, also make the most best quality of R&B music when there is, any kind of special artist that is needed to be seen and needs us be blessed with something from R. Kelly. He's been given a job by God. He's been given those gifts by God, and it ain't nobody gonna take it away. But they trying to the world, when God says doesn't care anything about you, the world doesn't, because all of this fame and fortune and being a superstar and everything, it's like like they pick up a toy. When every Christmas there comes a new doll baby or whatever like that, like gifts you give to your children or whatever. It's the same thing that God gives to us. Because after a while, when the children play with the toy, the children want something new and different. But it also kind of like connects with the toy they were playing with. Like, oh wait, maybe I'm gonna make it this way, and it just keeps adding you more and more and more and more to it, and then all of a sudden it turns into something amazing. You know, I look at the kids when I see them working in the classroom. We call this places we send children that's like in preschool, where it all starts in preschool. You look at them with Legos, connective objects, you know, those type of things. When you look at them doing, like, I used to love sending my kids in the area where they could play with the train tracks. They had to actually put the train set together. So all of these times I'm sitting them in there, I'm watching what they're doing and what they're learning in that time that I'm putting them in these little play areas of the classroom. In the classroom, what they learning, what they doing with science, how they exploring with it, everything. I'm watching them. So after a while, I see the child will start off with this part of um the stuff that they might be working with, and then all of a sudden I see them building something, and then all of a sudden they did something amazing. As I'm watching them, I said, "Wow, you got very good architectural skills and all of that." I can see that. So anyway, back to what I'm saying about my brother here, saying my brother Robert Sylvester, brother, my brother in Christ here. Until it is Sunday. Okay, y'all. I'm back. But what I'm saying to you all is that whenever God takes something away from us, God is giving us something new and different, something better than what we had before. And I'm just saying now, God, R. Kelly has been going through the fire for the last whatever because of where he's at right now. And this is the place now where he's at, incarcerated. But we're going to go back memory lane of the things he's talking to Gayle about as before he has his meltdown.
Myself for the first time to Bank of America. Didn't know what I was doing. Didn't know what the hell was going on.
When did you do that? First time by yourself?
About 3 weeks ago to a month.
3 weeks ago was the first time you went to Bank of America.
Absolutely.
By yourself?
By myself. Because
Did you hear what he said? This was the very first time that he actually went to Bank of America by himself.
I was so tired of not knowing where my money was, where my publishing is.
Isn't that on you then?
Huh?
Isn't that on you?
A lot of it's on me.
That you didn't know where your money is?
A lot of it's on me.
And people say he doesn't have money because he had to pay so much in settlements. What do you say about that?
Lie.
Kelly says he had about $350,000 and he wanted to start a new account, but it would take a week to clear. Now he claims that his ex-wife, Andrea Kelly, lied in the Lifetime docuseries.
Your ex-wife says you abused her, Robert.
13 lies. 13 years being married. I flew in on a helicopter.
Yeah.
I flew in on a helicopter.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have to stop. This is sometimes I hate looking back at this. But remember when he was sitting there and he was saying how I can't look at him like that. This man was actually on a stage in front of the world telling everybody what was going on with his money. And they used everything they can. And believe it or not, this was not an act. This was not an act. This was real, y'all. Real. How all these big, evil corporations with their investments in this surviving R. Kelly project to destroy. First, it was basically the white woman that came for Trump. These liberal white women that came for Trump because they was working on it against Trump. Okay? And don't believe me, they haven't given up yet. They ain't stopped. With the stories of being women in high, like women that have been used for some of them for their equal rights and not being paid as much as the men are. Their white counterparts are being paid for. How men are not being held responsible for crimes, and how these men are wealthy and rich and da 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 da, and how they mistreat women. We saw. This is a bunch of crap, y'all. To be going out here and joining these organizations and becoming these vigilantes. This is a bunch of crap. Because you know how I know it's a bunch of the crap? Because God has told me so, that this is a bunch of crap. Because if you look through the Bible throughout history, there's always been men in power. So if it's been like that since history and it hasn't changed, why are we fighting against it instead of listening to the word of God to help lead and guide us, to give us that peace in our marriage, that peace of mind? Why are we still fighting something that just ain't gonna ever change? And that's how satanic things happen. That comes out the evilness of a man or a woman's heart. This fight up against all of this stuff against R. Kelly ain't got nothing to do really with R. Kelly. It's all about power, greed, control. How they want to make a certain statement to certain types of people. The devil have no love for nobody. Don't matter who they are. But the devil wants to be the one still in control. The way he want to control things, in the way he want people to see him as in supremacy. This investment with surviving R. Kelly wasn't just Sony or any other record companies, Jive, whatever. There was some other organization, corporations, as well. And it goes all the way up to, like I said, to the White House, from the outhouse to the White House. All over the world, people that invest the money on these stock markets and business deals and all this corporate stuff. And you heard him say Bank of America. Look at sometimes when you go to these basketball, football, um, sporting events, and they having some games and stuff like that, you always going to see these banners that are hanging up with all of these names of all these different companies, and you're going to see certain people giving commercials on certain things on their products or whatever like that, putting their icon out there. um they all had a part of this. Even Gayle herself know the truth. She know R. Kelly didn't do half of all that thing. But guess what? They had to use Gayle to be the black woman face that he's supposed to have been disrespectful to, the ones he was supposed to have violated, and all this other stuff. Oh, your wife, and R. Kelly been with a whole lot of women. Come on, he's a superstar. Women, they just like, hey, with these superstars and everything, they just be throwing themselves at them. Sometimes the men just don't even want to be touched, and they be touching. Okay, so it is what it is, y'all. So he hasn't really done any crime as far as him as a man in his flesh that is wrong in the sight of God. I mean, it's wrong. And some things, like once you get yourself involved with, entangled up in this web or whatever like that, it's hard to get out of. It's really hard to get out of once you've been you know, been there for a while. It's hard for some people to stop drinking when they alcoholics. You know, it's going to take a process. It takes time. You got to get you out of the environment. And I thank God that there is a living, true living God that even though we see this theatric played out in front of us in the very emotional theatrics, because I cannot watch it. Okay, so I had to stop right there with the tears and the crying and him hurting like that. And I could feel that his heart was being clean and he was being honest and his purity skin. But the world, these people are just evil until it comes to become one of them. You know, until and R. Kelly, he's a much better man than he was before because God had to take him through this fire. And once going through the fire, and I talked about it last week with you. I don't know what day it was, but I said when God is on his throne, right? And that's where it's his kingdom. That's where that's the throne is like the kingdom, his dignity, his power. And it receives your glory and your honor. And actually that's where God uses his power on the throne. And you know the thing is that we can't worship these idols. He said it himself. God said, "Love no other God before Him. Worship no idols." Those things R. Kelly don't have to cry about. They idols. Those are idols. Right then and there. You ain't have to break down, cry, no nothing. We know you tell. I know you telling the truth. But God wants to restore you. He's going to restore everything. But you got to follow him. Because the world don't love you. The world showed you they don't love you. The world is nobody's friend. The world is nobody's friend. One day people could be cheering you on and telling you, oh, we love you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay? And the next day somebody put out some ugly, this is the game the world played with you. The next day somebody said, oh, he did these things. You wasn't there. And they just turn your mind into something like, turn other people's mind to think something other different than you, differently about you. That's what he said. Anybody with common sense. But people don't want to be common sense because you know why? They enjoy watching the theatrics. They enjoy seeing somebody in pain. They enjoy seeing somebody being punished and suffering and everything. They get their kicks out of that. A blood hungry crowd. Satan lovers. Remember back in the old days when they catch prisoners, somebody that committed treason and do certain things to the government, broke the law, and then they would be like, they make them into what they call gladiators, and it'd be the seizure. They did this in Rome, and they have the Caesar sitting on the throne, and he'll have his queen with him or whoever, and all his courtsmen or guards in armor and everything else like that. And these gladiators will have to go into this arena. And they used to use them like if they when they bring them out of the prison, whether this is how they practice their own capital punishment. Take them in the arena and let everybody come in and watch the show, and the crowd be cheering it on as a man is put, or a couple of men could be put in this arena and have to fight these wild animals. Like they give them a sword or whatever, and that's it. Nothing to protect themselves, just a sword or whatever. And they go inside this arena and they have to fight tigers. They have to fight lions, leopards, whatever kind of wild animal they could have caught in the wild in that times where they lived because the world was developing and they didn't have a lot of things we got now. Oh, how would we know? We don't know. This is a historic, this is how people have discovered over time studying historic events. So I'm like, they put them in this arena and they'll have to fight a tiger, they'll have to fight some kind of wild dogs, or hyenas, anything they could find out there, or even put them against each other, who is the most notorious criminal, and they will have to fight like that. That's how historically they put things back in those Roman Empire days. And Rome was one of the highest. The place Rome was the world. Put it this way: Rome was the world back in Jesus' time. Rome was the world. So you could look at it now and see capitalism here in America, which the kind of president that we have right now, he's a capitalist. You know what I'm saying? He's a capitalist. Corporate. All these big, you know, well, God got him there for a reason. Just God. I just know it. Got Donald Trump there. That's why I say black people lay low on the attacks of what he's doing. And just like now, they talk about he wants segregation, whatever, whatever. And I say, oh, well, you think black people worry about segregation? We not. You know what I'm saying? Not. But see, Donald Trump wasn't doing it, segregation, in that type of way. Okay. What he's talking about is that segregate the bathrooms. That's what the word segregation means. Using it, that law, to separate these freaks, or somebody that just can be a weirdo, going in the bathroom with females, and segregate sports and everything. That's what he's talking about, segregation. He ain't talking about separate. Come on, that's going to be way too impossible for Donald Trump to do. To make black people and white people go back to living segregated. It ain't going to happen. Because what's going to happen with the biracial couples and their children and their families? People that have had children outside of their own race. What's going to happen to those who are not black? What's going to happen to Latinos? What's going to happen to the Latino community as far as that? People that's from the Asian community. So that segregation ain't going to work in America. Come on. Only, and he's talking about segregation of the sexes, male and female bathrooms. That's it. That's all. Yeah. So back to what I'm saying about Rome, the Colosseum, and Rome putting gladiators in the Colosseum, and they going in there and they battling it out for their life. So basically, that's what the devil likes to do. That's the way the devil handles your life. But when you have a relationship and an attachment to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, those tears were not the kind of tears the world think they were for. The world. Those tears were not for the world. When he did this interview, and these people sat here and they thought it was funny and they thought it was laughable and it was entertaining or whatever they want to feel, right? His tears was crying, "Oh mercy, Father," just like Christ when his life was being put on the cross, his crucifixion. Christ came to a part of his weakness of his tears. He says, "Father, Father, forgive them not what they do." And he cried out to his Father before God released him. God actually, after he took all the pain he can take. Trusted me or not, God's hands is on our Kelly. They can't touch his soul. They ain't going to get to it. And look at all of them that was a part of it. Anybody that knew it was going down that way and they took participation in it, they're a part of it too. That's why you see in the chips falling down of what's going on with Oprah. Tyler Perry, Monique, everybody that was up there with their mouth chitter chattering and saying not the nicest things about this man, not saying nice things about the fact that they could have took a stand and said, "Look, that was the most horrible thing to watch," and I believed R. Kelly. No, we gotta keep this off. Nah, nah. Somebody, and there was people that was making noise about it. I remember Bootsy. I remember the little, the group from Bootsy and all of them. What's his name again? Tretch or whatever like that. Oh, he was going in. He was really Bootsy people was standing up for R. Kelly, even with R. Kelly. So this stuff with Bootsy trying to be clout chasing and all that. No, Bootsy and them was there when they was in the thick of it all for surviving R. Kelly. Bootsy and Trek, I think his name is Tretch, or whatever his name, Trek or whatever. One of them from the group, rock with Little Wayne and them. Oh, they was out there. They was making some noise. They silenced them though. They probably did some shit to them, but for them not to be able to advance in their career, their music careers or whatever, they don't give a fuck. That's shit. We used to this shit. Shit, they still gonna hustle. They still gonna eat. Truth is the truth. And those who took a stand for R. Kelly in the thick of it all, they let me tell you something. God is definitely gonna always make sure you're fed. The King fed us all. And he still didn't leave us, even though he's starving probably up there and behind them bars, but he still fed his people, right? The King still came out to feed his people, right? When came out and he said, hey, R&B is drying up and is starving now. It's a drought on R&B right now. Let me come over there and bless you with these lyrics. Okay? And give you something that is real. Not something that is fake, but something that is real. Because see, the thing that these artists are missing today, that they cannot get back, will ever get back, because we going so into technology. The things that these artists are not going to have with their fans is PR. The PR we see, all of this stupid PR, you don't get the same feeling with PR from the way they did PR in the time they were coming up. Like R. Kelly and them. I mean, people actually had a personal connection to them. They came out and they interact with their fans. They came out and they came to party with you at the club or pop up at the club when you partying, and they just come in and step on in there. No craziness, no gunshots, nobody getting shot up. None of that. See, it wasn't like that in R. Kelly. It was bad. Yeah, they had gangster stuff going on. It was bad. But you know what? The people always had a more personal connection. They wasn't internet rappers. They wasn't the kind that just was just telling you some empty, telling you some feel good lyrics and just making you entertaining you with that and everything, but then they go away. It doesn't stay. But see, we shared memories with our artists like R. Kelly and Jay-Z, and with the Diddy, the Ditster, the Diddler, or whatever the heck the Diddler. We had, that's what they had, they did, the way they did their PR back then is totally different. You were more personally involved. So you really got to know your artists. These days, you don't know your artist. Anything somebody tell you, you gonna believe it. You gonna jump right on the bandwagon and believe it. Okay, he messed up. He cursed her out and called her a hoe, or he called her mother a hoe, and I don't like him. He's disrespectful to women. Da da da. See, back then, women didn't stand for the way you said women were being exploited. Go check out MC Light. She's a pioneer, and look at what she's doing in the game. What God has given her in the game of army. She ain't beefing over who gonna be my queen. That girl is vibing and she is thriving, and she had to give up a marriage. She was just like, yo, I'm married to hip hop for the rest of my life. She's a hip hop queen. From the hip hop, from the time they were coming up in birth, what she had to deal with in the streets. She's a little one too. And you know what? She is so sweet. And I met MC Light. See, this is what I'm saying. We had a personal relationship with our artists. They came out and they interact with you. Like I was just telling you about the Chocolate Factory CD. When I got that CD, that was R. Kelly's personal touch to that CD. He had a part. Now you just put something on and you get an app, and there's the voice, there's the. No, we got to be all in the. We got to be around them, like really be around. Not something that just was scripted or fake, AI or anything of such of that nature. We actually were very not just going to their concerts either, because before we got to the concerts, we had to have a personal relationship. Like R. Kelly, I know in Chicago he popped up at some places, like he did in this one clip that somebody showed him. He was out eating at a certain place, and they came and they asked him to sing, and he did get up and sing a song and everything, a nice little church song, a little religious song. So with the people not being around his people, and the artists really cared about their fans. When they got very deep in it. But now, that's why I say if you ain't gonna be rocking with R. Kelly through this, you ain't no fan. You never been a fan. When all that came out and you jumped off the bandwagon and everything, you were never really a true. And we had loyalty. Everybody was loyal to each other. Now you got a bunch of snitching bitches. You know what I'm saying? Just turned out to punk them to be little snitches bitches. That's what they turned. Back then in those days, if a man got caught in a crime or anything went down, he kept his motherfucker. My brother did 30 years. My brother. Okay? He did that shit in his sleep. When he was rocking with the gangsters out on the street and doing his thing or whatever like that. And the feds came for him and he did his time. He did that shit in his sleep. He's an older man now, but I'm just saying, because that's how it was back in the old school. Gangsters, ain't nobody snitching, ain't nobody telling, ain't nobody doing this, that. Even though there might have been a little snitchy. But I'm talking about like now everybody's like, oh, you bet for your life. For your life, R. Kelly, for your life, and snitch. You could be back out here, R. Kelly. God got some other plans for R. Kelly right now, because he ain't coming back out here like y'all saw him in the 90s. Come on, R. Kelly's a much older man now. He ain't no little schoolboy and his little schoolboy, little child. God is taking him to the next level of his man. But he's going to put something to the game that's just going to keep y'all young little artists in check. Because everybody ain't going to get there. Everybody, just because they think R. Kelly, they think R. Kelly gonna be. R. Kelly ain't getting up on no stage doing no dancing. The man don't had a broken leg, a broken whatever, while he was sitting there in jail. He can't be doing all that with his body. God is now taking him from those little boy ways, acting like a little teenager and being a little boy, to being a. You saw how he came on that mic, on how he came through that phone call. Ain't no old people gonna sit there and have beef with you and keep talking and running their mouth. They don't see any. What do you need? Okay, I got you. Okay, got you. They gotta move, because they can't be using all their energy up with that young shit. That young boy shit. They don't been there, done that. Come on, don't come with me with all of that talking shit. That's what R. Kelly said. He said that on the mic when he was singing "Shut Up." Don't, no, no, no. He said, "See, y'all the ones who come bringing me this negative stuff. Y'all the ones I'm not gonna be messing with." They don't like that. Because all I see is a whole bunch of men sitting on pop platforms and everything, gossiping about artists. Now they trying to beef with Busta Rhyme and 50 Cent. Busta Rhyme almost 60 years old. Sit down. You ain't got time to be beefing with no young artists or nobody that ain't been in the game as long as you have and got your reputation out there like that. Boy, go sit down. They got Busta Rhymes getting into it with 50 Cent. Isn't Busta Rhymes a little bit too old for that? Both of them actually are too old for it. That's not how you do PR in front of your fans. That is not the way. That is, you see, this is what I'm saying about the art today. They messy. The artist today is messy. We in technology. If it ain't about them having an event and they inviting you to come to the event so you can perform for whatever inspiring artists that are out there, or you can perform for the community to serve some kind of charity or whatever like that, then y'all shouldn't be on no doggone social media beefing because y'all not little boys anymore in the game. Y'all are supposed to be the leaders. Y'all supposed to have these young artists looking up to you as kings in the game, but y'all sitting there beefing with some little boy. Go sit down like y'all some little boys. That is so. It was so. I saw that. I said, what is wrong with these grown men today in the music industry? You know it's an evil game. You know it's a cold game. You know that somebody ain't everybody gonna make it. Anybody gonna come out on top. But y'all up there acting like little sissies. Y'all are sissies if you ask me, talking about Busta Rhymes being on the flip side of sin. You know what I'm saying? Like putting their man reputation out there like that. His fans ain't never seen no messiness like that. Why are you telling that to his fans? They disrespectful to each other. Very disrespectful. That's what I liked about R. Kelly and Jay-Z. When they had their beef, they got it. They got their fight in, whatever. You know, you got spectators watching and people coming with all kind of other shit. And they still itching for more. These are grown fucking men. I keep telling you. These men are about 60 years old. They ain't got time for stuff like this. Life is a lot more serious. Things have changed in their life. Jay-Z is a married man. He got a family. He got kids. He's trying to sit back and enjoy himself, watch his money. You know, watch his wife. He come out, do a show, whatever. Y'all gonna pay a whole lot of money for Beyonce because that's how Jay-Z gonna say, look, it's time for us to sit back and enjoy it. They want us to come out and perform. They gonna be paying a whole lot of money because that's how much we're worth in this game, because we've been here too long and worked many years in this business, and now it's time to bring. And if anything, if Beyonce's doing it, she's probably just right now just passing on some of her talents and everything with her daughter, performing with her in some of her events. So that could be a thing too, a family thing. Well, since we always in the camera, let the kids come out and enjoy this moment with us or whatever. I don't know. Spending time with her family. That's a way to find time to spend with her family and know what's going on around them, and especially around the industry with the predators, like they did Michael Jackson. That was so sad when you hear the story, boy. When you hear the story, how they hurt the relationship between him and his father. They strained that relationship. It was so broken and shattered and he couldn't save his son. He wanted to go in and save his son, but what the industry was doing to him. But the father hands they was making up lies how he was the abusive father. They was feeding that to the public. That was they was out there saying Joe Jackson was the crook and he was doing this to the kids, and the crazy sister Latoya, she got hooked up with some con artist man or whatever he was, beating her ass and pumping her head, and she was crazy, probably still crazy as hell. And everybody up there saying all this horrible stuff, just for she could get some attention from what they were doing, and actually part of the setup in the slaughter of her brother. Okay, that's how evil and jealous she was of her brother, Latoya. And if you see her now, look what she looked like. She looked just like him, like a walking corpse. She was, if anybody was crazy and demonic, was her, selling her soul and everything to the industry. And some of them do that. They sell their soul to the industry. They go out and slaughter their brother, their sister, their cousin, their whoever, just so that they can be the one in the spotlight. The jealousy. It was a mess what that industry can do. Put it this way, that it's a mess what money can do to destroy lives, families, and even your own. It's just so hurtful. That's why R. Kelly, those tears ain't for them. It's for the Lord. He knows. He knows all about it. Why they put you on the stage and made you look like a guilty, you know, man that was going around doing these things harmful to children when there was no children. There's not you ain't never see him sitting on no platform with no mother with no child. So don't believe that BS. Michael Jackson scandal, they were like, look, Michael even admitted I had them in the bed. Michael said, I let them used to sleep with me. That's where Michael messed up at. You let them in your bed. What a 13-year-old doing in your bed? Shit. Boy, too big to be in your bed, Michael. And of course, people are going to feel and think some type of way that you bringing little kids to your Neverland and putting them in the bed. But you didn't see no parent, a little small little girl with her mommy and daddy sitting on the stage. Yeah, they saying that ain't no little girl. Azarel wasn't no little girl. That's a grown ass woman. Okay. Before we go there, and when she came in the business, she wasn't no little. You got to go talk to her daddy, her stepdaddy, or whoever daddy she is to her about that, because there's some videos floating around how they was grooming Azarel, and that was way before she met R. Kelly, got with R. Kelly. There's a video of her singing on some little talent show, little pageant, and she's singing a song as a little girl and doing her little family videos with her family and stuff, playing her little, put all these little girl pictures out. This was during the time of, they might be still floating around here on YouTube, but they were already grooming her in the business. What they had to set up, all them little young girls they brought around R. Kelly. That was the setup. That was the setup. Bring them around this talented young artist who out there without a queen or whatever. So they had to try to, of course with Aaliyah, I guess she didn't do their route what they wanted her to do. So they silenced her forever. And just going to speculate. Just going to go out there and just say things about him being married to a teenager, which is not true. That was, they put fake marriage certificates and everything. The government got access to all of that. They can switch. They got people to work and set it up with the money and stuff. Look, the man set up on the plane, on the people that was a part of it, that got up in the courthouse. That's why they kept that shit quiet. They closed circuited because they know some of us ain't gonna take time out to go read. And then that was the smart move for the R. Kelly supporters to read the transcript on what they could do on media. And even get some footage out there of them out there protesting with him. Even though some of them didn't come for the right intentions, didn't come to do good, okay? A lot of some just wanted to come up. Some of them just wanted to look like they were there for R. Kelly because they were giving orders by their boss from the prison or the whoever they was working for, the feds, because they were getting lenient sentences for the crimes they committed. There's a lot of things you should have paid attention to. Well, it's still you got to pay attention to, and these are Kelly supporters, like how you can know who's the real and who's the fake. Like some of them now that was working for had federal jobs, and they claimed they were R. Kelly supporters, and they also gave a story about their own, experience or of violations. And I was like, that sounds suspect for me. And you supporting R. Kelly at this time of time, and you going on all these little Everybody that knew something about everybody background at that time, if you was paying attention, they knew so much about each other's background because they all was set up to be on these platforms so that they can, confuse R. Kelly supporters and fans. Acting violent, saying explicit stuff all around when this man was going through his moment of his life. Some was doing some outrageous stuff. And I was like, if that's a real R. Kelly supporter to be carrying on like that, is that a real R. Kelly supporter? They knew so much. They got into so much each other's records and police files and everything. And who was like, I mean, who does that? You can't be an R. Kelly supporter and you pulling out information about somebody else's criminal past and putting it all on social media. I was like, wow. I was like, look, I ain't do all of that research shit. Because I mean, whatever what they did in their past, let that stay right there with them in their past. That's the way I feel because that's not in front of me in the presence of the person, but it will, whoever they are, you'll figure them out. You will figure them out. So a lot of people didn't pay attention to a lot of stuff that was going on here. And I said the bigger the platform is, the bigger they working for, the other side. And just certain things I started seeing suspicious behavior. I started seeing, certain people. Then after this thing died down, and once they gave R. Kelly the 30 cents, they came out for a little while and said what they had to say, and then they went on back into their hiding space. But it was this one character that used to come on and listen to him, probably still around, I don't know. But he used to try me and try to mess with me and get a buzz from me or whatever. I don't know. I know just as much as some of these people out here know. I just know that I've been watching and I've been figuring things out for myself and also from what the Lord has been, most of all, what the Lord has been showing me. Because I didn't come in here for the come up. I didn't come in here for the money. None of that stuff. So I came in here to try to get the truth out there to the people about what has been done to the superstar. See, I'm not that type. See, when you got Christ in your life, money and things and stuff like that, those kind of things don't mean nothing to you. It really don't. Because one day you got to leave here. You got to leave this world. So you got to prepare yourself. Never know the time, the day, or the hour, but you got to prepare yourself so you can't get attached to this world. You can't get attached to things. You can't get attached to the fact that, oh, I'm a big movie star and da 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 da. You can't get attached to that life because one day we all got to leave on God's time, hopefully, prayerfully on God's time. But we got to leave. We got to say goodbye to this world. So all that emotional attachment to you're gonna miss things. Of course, you're gonna miss something you had before. But then after a while, as time go on by and by, you'll heal. You'll be okay. I don't miss when I enjoyed it. And I'm gonna be honest, when I was in the good corporate world and doing the things I was doing, I was enjoying myself. But then I had to say goodbye. God had to shake some things up in my life to get me to let it go. Sometimes when we don't want to let things go, God got to let it go for us. And that's exactly what I feel about R. Kelly. His riches and glory will be restored in Christ Jesus. And when he do get restored in Christ Jesus, this money and this game with this industry don't mean nothing to him. Whether he get his credits for it or not, it means nothing. you know? People want a song. Oh, you R. Kelly, write me a song, man. I need a song. You can help me out. He'd be like, what you need? You do it with so much grace in your heart and just like, yeah, man, but I can't afford, and don't even worry about it. I just look out for you. Whenever you make that hit, whatever you do, just say thank you. Okay, pay me later. But right now, go ahead and do your thing. Good luck. That's all R. Kelly got to do now. All he got to do is speak and bless the songs that he has written and made for those 25,000. Those 25 albums or whatever he been doing since he been doing time in the time that they might probably try to put on him again. That's all he got to do. And some of them men that's just going to come out of there, them criminals, they're going to be that no R. Kelly are going to come out to be great men. Because he's ministering through music. And he's using what God given him for 30 years out in the world for some time that he might have to do in there. So he's working on it. To God be the glory, because I know he's working on it. Unfinished business will probably be unfinished business with him and the other one, because I don't think the other one is either going to be going in that place at all. Jay Z, not at all. They ain't going to touch Jay Z. They just want to stir you up so they could build their case against Diddy. Because they was just thinking Diddy was just too loud for them. He was getting too, you know. Jay Z appearance was like only coming out when Jay Z's appearance was only out in the attention the public is when there's an event going on or something like that. But you don't see Jay Z. You don't see Jay Z out there like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're talking, getting on platforms, talking, and blah blah blah. Jay Z stay off the platform. I don't never see Jay Z on no platform. To be honest with you, doing YouTube videos and doing any kind of thing is such as if he's on a platform, he'd probably be somewhere like there with Oprah and Gayle King or some real mainstream media platform or main whatever. But he don't do the the YouTube platform. that's too that's too small for him because there's a whole lot of secrets that have to be held in, with him. He ain't gonna do the low budget, these app tap platforms. He's gonna do platforms where there's mainstream media, like names that's out there for sitting on platforms like Gayle King, Oprah Winfrey. What's some big corporate platforms like The View and just name them. The ones that's out there. You ain't gonna see Jay Z on Instagram, Facebook. Name them, Twitch. You ain't gonna see him on those type of platforms. That's why they say it. They you don't even see Beyonce doing these platforms. You want to see them, you pay that money to go to their concerts for 1,000 and whatever dollars. Not me, because I don't worship no artists like that. God, God, God. And if I've been a fan, I don't know why you would be putting me. I guess he's saying he trying to keep those certain type of fans out. You know what I'm saying? So they raise the price. It's a way they weed them out, and that's what exactly. If R. Kelly gonna do something, if he have to come and make an appearance, that's how much he's gonna be worth. His tickets, except for his fans, his real fans. His real fans, they probably get this nice little discount, whatever. Cause me ain't gotta eat, me ain't gotta take, he got bills to pay. Of course, he gotta pay all these damn lawsuits and shit that they got on his damn name, judgments on him. So we gotta help him out. The way I feel, we gotta help him out. Kelly got some magnificent fans. Those of us that are still around. I'm sure he got a lot of fans that still. Nah, I ain't even talking about fans that he still got around that grew up with him. I'm talking about the fans that are in love with his work and studying him now. The young people, that have been. That's who they were trying to keep from his work, but they just couldn't keep it once they heard Residual. That was like, bam! It opened up a gold mine. That opened up a gold mine. Made them young people go searching for those R. Kelly albums and his catalogs. And not only just for the young people out here, you imagine what them young boys in jail are getting ready to do. Being able to be there with one of the best R&B writers, producers, whatever that ever, with the GOAT, they probably like, what? He taking care of all his people. The GOAT, y'all locked him up. Y'all did the wrong thing. Y'all put R. Kelly in there when I was supposed to be most notorious criminals. As the I ain't saying they notorious, but y'all put R. Kelly in there with these notorious criminals, and he's writing songs for them, and he's making these men rich and eating. Probably writing for some of the guards too, so they could get enough, and they could quit their daytime job. And those guards that just miserable be in there seeing all the black men. Oh, come on. Okay, we're not gonna do this. Some people are just retarded. All right, y'all. I don't know how to do this. This is all in my way. Oh, come on. This is crazy. They messed me up over here. I don't like when they do that. I gotta know how to block the call. Okay. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna come back and talk to y'all about this later. This is getting real good. This is getting good, but I just wanted to go down back memory lane with this, with R. Kelly, and he was trying to tell them how much money he had in the bank. He went down to Bank of America, and he was basically broke. I had no money. I had people with me. It was the very first time I ever been to the bank by myself without anybody with me. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, we'll go back to it later. Anyway, let me get out of here and get back to this call that was coming in. I'll talk with you later. God bless you. Have a wonderful and blessed Sunday.